Hello everyone. Welcome to the short-term forecasting method videos. Uh, this is part 4. At this video, we'll try to do forecasting using the moving average method. Okay, so before doing that, let us see what is moving average. Okay, so under this model, we use a parameter, that is, we pick like how many periods to consider for my moving average. It could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4, or whatever you want. So n indicates that the period that we want to consider, and here PET plus 1, that indicates the predicted value. How is that predicted value comes? That is the VT, that the current observed value, BT minus 1, that's the value before that. If I consider our quarterly data, the current quarterly data, then previous quarterly data, that's T minus 1, that's how it moves on. So let's assume that we are picking the 2 period, that is 2 period moving average. In that scenario, I will consider BT and BT minus 1. And if I consider 4 periods for my moving average, then I will consider VT plus VT minus 1 plus VT minus 2 and plus VT minus 3. And then I get the average of those observations. Uh, that is, here it is 4, so I get the average by dividing the sum of those observations by 4. That gives me the moving average, and based on that moving average we do the prediction. Okay, now let us see how we do that. Okay, so first let me take this data to the new worksheet. Copy. Okay, so now I wanna do my moving average. I wanna first create some space if I need to put some information on the top. Okay, so first I'll get my average. Here it is moving average, so I'm putting a note here, A T. T is indicating the observation, and then my predicted value, and then I want to calculate error. Then the absolute value of error. I will need all this information for my analysis. I'm putting step by step those information. So and then error square. Okay, so to look the data good, I need to edit them a little bit. I want them, let me make the center, all bold, same font. Okay, that's okay. Okay, so here first I'm considering the 2 period moving average. So I'm just putting a note here, that is 2 MA. Okay, so first of all, the 2 periods at this stage I don't have the previous observations, so I don't consider anything here. So from here I should be basically considering my moving average for the 2 period moving average. So how I do that? Average hit on this. Okay, so that's the average for these 2 observations. Okay, So based on these two observations, the using moving average, now I'll be doing my prediction. The PT, that's the prediction. So prediction should be for the third quarter based on the previous 2 quarters observations, historical observations should be this. So that's how it goes on. So now I wanna do this for the whole data set. Okay, before that let me freeze it so that I can see which column is representing what. So let me freeze it here. View, freeze. Okay, so now either I can drag it or I can just double click on this on this corner, and that's how it will automatically copy the formula to all the cells. Okay, so you can see that it's good here. So now let's do the prediction. Yes, so it's good. Now let's calculate the error for these predictions. This is the prediction and this is the observation. So we get the error as the difference between the prediction, between the observation and the prediction. So let us calculate that. So it's this observation minus the prediction. So that gives us the error. So we can again double click on it. That gives the observation, the error for all the observations. Okay. Okay, so we are ready with the error. So now let us get the absolute value of the error. We are doing all this to calculate basically the measuring error, and we know that through measuring error, the prediction that is having the least measuring error, that gives the right prediction, the better prediction. Good. Okay, so now error square, that's equal to the error times again the same value that gives this. Again, let's select that number, the cell, then click on this, double click. Okay, so now we are ready with the required information to calculate our the errors, the MSE, MAP, the mean squared error, mean average percentage error, and mean absolute deviation. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so we missed one observation, one part. So that is, it should be, we missed absolute value, error percentage part. So let us insert one more column here. So it should be absolute value of error percentage, error P, to indicate this. Okay, so here the error percentage is the absolute value of the error over the actual observation. That gives us the percentage. Click on it. Okay, so now we have everything ready. Now let us calculate those measuring errors. So if you want to have a look once more, what we are going to calculate at this stage, that's measuring error. These three basically will be calculating from those information, that is mean squared error, mean absolute deviation and mean absolute percentage error. Okay, so let us put the names over here. The mean absolute deviation, uh, mean absolute percentage error, and the mean squared error. Okay, so here we get the average of those. So for here, mean absolute deviation, I get the average of all the error, absolute value of the error. So average, okay. And the same way we can do the mean percentage error, we can just copy to under this MAP and MAC. That will give us the average for the rest of the columns, like MAP, the mean percentage error, and mean squared error. So let us edit the data a little bit to look them good. So we wanna make them center. Okay, then I wanna make it absolute value. Same goes here. Okay, and I want to make it a percentage. So 2 decimal would be good. So, and I also want them centered. Okay, and let us make it bold. So okay, so here we see we can see a couple of measures, error measures for this two uh, two moving averages, two period moving averages. Now from here we cannot basically compare like whether we should take these two period moving averages for the prediction or the or some other period moving average. So now we'll be doing the same calculation with 4 period moving averages. Okay, and before going to that, we can see if you just uh, copy this here, that gives us the prediction for the next quarter based on the previous information. Okay, okay. I'm selecting all the data. I'm separating this from the next analysis. I'm just putting a border and it is bold. Okay, so now it is separate. So now we'll be doing the same calculation, but this time it is 4 period moving average. Sorry, it should be here. Okay, I could consider 3 too, but we are just moving to 4 because basically there are 4 quarters in any year, so arbitrarily took 4 period moving averages. Let us see what happens. Okay, so when it's 4 period moving average for my uh, analysis, I need at least 4 periods. So I start for basically from the 4th period. That's how. So I take the current observations and previous 3 periods. That's how I get the moving average. So here average for the 4th period. Okay, and I copy, I double click on this, that gets here, so I don't need this. Basically that is the prediction for the next quarter, for the first quarter of 2016. I don't need this right now. Okay, the same way. Now the prediction should be in the fifth quarter basically, because up to now we have the moving average. Based on this, we are predicting for the next quarter. So the prediction comes here, and the prediction is this. Double click on it. Okay. So now let us calculate the error, absolute error, error percentage, and the squared error, same as before. Absolute error equal to this, sorry, ABS. Okay, that gives us the absolute error, and error percentage would be, that's the absolute error percentage, this over this, and error square times the same value. Okay, so now we are almost ready with our information. Now let's select this. We can calculate all the formulas in one shot, one go. You just select all the values, and then on the corner, on the rightmost lower corner, we just double click on it. That's how it copies the formula to all the places. But here, remember, we don't need this. Okay. Okay, so now we'll be calculating again this different measuring different errors using different approaches. So I'm copying this from here to here. Okay, so now I'll be calculating the mean absolute deviation first. That's average of the absolute value of the errors. So I'm selecting this, then Control Shift down arrow key, that selects all the data. I need to select the right spot, so that's here. Then okay, so that gives me the mean absolute deviation for the four period moving average. Now I just copy the formula for the rest of the error measures. So okay, so percentage, let me round them, that looks good. Okay, and okay, so let me make them center. Okay, so I can also make a border for them from here. Okay, now let us compare between these two measuring errors. If I consider 2 period moving average and 4 period moving average, we see that the mean absolute deviation is lower for the 4 period moving average. The mean absolute percentage error is also lower for the 4 period moving average, and mean squared error is also lower for the 4 period moving average compared to 2 period moving average. So apparently from this data we can conclude at this moment that if I consider 4 period moving average, and if I consider 2 period and if I consider 4 period and 2 period moving average, the 4 period is a better should be a better model to do the short-term forecast for this data. Okay, so I'm going to stop here now. See you in the next video, and there we'll be discussing one more method to do the short-term forecasting. Thank you.